Something to write with today. Hopefully you are open to moving around a little bit, and hopefully I see it's all right. Not a lot. What happened? I have to ask. Everything's all right?
We were doing a scavenger hunt, and my group was so ahead of everybody else, and I wanted to catch up because I wanted to win.
I was about to say, so this is a competition. Okay, all right. Did y'all win?
They actually stood by me for a good 20-30 minutes, so they were behind. They were big. Good team.
So we're going to this has been the thing for, we got 2 more sessions, and so what I want to do today and tomorrow is shift from what I would call having conversation about you all as leaders, and so really moving into this conversation about others, right? Because you're going to be working with new students, and we're getting close. Anybody just starting to get just a little bit nervous? All right. You should. I see a couple new faces, so I have to. Does anyone remember how we did introductions? Right? Does anyone want to model that? So if you have not seen me before, I'd like for you to introduce yourself to the group. But I don't know if everybody knows everybody. Y'all have already been on retreat. We have a different group every time, right? So let's do introductions. And we're just gonna go. We'll popcorn. You get to choose who goes next, but let's do introductions.
My name.
Everyone standing up? No.
And my major is math. Oh, and I'm also FYE Training.
And you get to choose who goes next?
I have not met you over there. After.
Me?
Yeah, I would love to start with you.
How you doing, everybody? My name is Jacob Jackson. I'm from Science Street campus. My major is business administration. I also have associates in culinary arts. I went to the Photo Booth, so I'm working on opening up my restaurant one day in work in progress.
Well, you can always test out your food on us.
That's
right.
This looks like Lee. I like it. This looks like Lee. So, how many of you, as soon as you heard culinary, you're like, oh. You get to choose who, and tell me your first name again.
Jacob.
Jacob. Okay. And tell me who gets to go next.
You can do preference.
My name is Steve Martinez. I'm originally from Arizona. I go to the Eastview campus. My major is child development because I like working with children and teaching them. And I'm terrified of public speaking.
But you did it again.
See, that's my plan for this whole summer is I want to try and go through as many fears as I can and conquer them. And that's why I went to flying. That's why I went to camp. And I'm working on my public speaking. My buddy over here.
Hola clase, me llamo Roberto. I am from the ECU campus and I'm a human service major. I'm also a design instructor for Introduction to Psychology and I'm a part of the Original Black Experience.
Can you repeat that? I didn't hear that.
You get to choose who goes next. Okay.
My good friend ever.
Salut, je m'appelle Lambert Nadi. Okay, look everybody. No, hi, my name is Lambert Nadi. I'm from the Southwestern campus. I'm majoring in electrical engineering, oil and gas exploration, and also getting certified in solar and wind energy. I'm happy to be here.
Robocop. Basic clinical, and my major is nursing.
That's a new Robocop.
Next language?
And I choose Amy.
You mean, oh, yeah, go ahead.
Wait, the confusion. My name is Maria Amalia, so they call me Amy, but for SAC purposes, they use my first name for everything. So that is why it's Maria, and some people know me as Amy.
I know her as Amy, so it's Amy.
Yes, RoboCop.
I don't know, I don't get it. No problem.
So I am part of the Northridge campus. Yeah, I was like, sorry. I go to Eastview. I'm taking child development there, and I work as a substitute teacher for the last semester. Yeah, that's about it. Well, I'm an international student for Costa Rica. What, Jamie's fine.
All right.
And I choose you.
My name's Brittany, I also go to the Temple campus, and my degree is in medicine.
Hi.
Well, my name is Chichi. Well, my short name is Chichi. My real name is Chimers. Nobody can say that, so Chichi. And I go to nursery, and my major is nursing. Oh, I'm supposed to choose.
Yes.
I should. Go ahead.
My name is Martha Zepeda, and I'm from Round Rock campus. I'm majoring in science studies, and I did great acrobatics this weekend.
Hi everybody, I'm Isabella. I go to the Cypress Creek campus. My major is pre-med, and I'm also an science doctor for Spanish. I pick Carlos.
Mi chiamo Carlos, parlo spagnolo ma mi piace l'italiano.
Italiano.
I go to Cyprus and my major is in psychology. Norgas. I remember.
Not Norax.
Yeah, my name is Nori, Norax, or seaweed. All of the above, I don't care. I go to the DFYE Training campus. My major is creative writing, and I'm also an SI instructor in the U.S. History 1. And this weekend, I did not do acrobatics, but I did conquer 2 phobias in one day.
What were they?
Heights, zip lining, and claustrophobia, and the water slide.
Man, that water slide was amazing. Let's go. That was nice.
Oh yeah. Okay, fine.
My name is Ashley Eveling. I'm from the Round Rock campus. Yeah. And my major is pre-med biology. So, okay, Amanda.
Yeah.
My name is Amanda Lee, and I'm from the Round Rock campus, and my major is I don't know that baby's name.
Like what you said. I'm not.
My name is Ariana Hughes. My major is computer science. My focus is business science.
And-
On the way, not gonna be here today? Okay, okay, cool. Well, let's jump in. Let me, I wanna do some, I'll draw later. So I have an activity, so give me something to write with. So in this handout, the first thing I'll need you all to do is you'll put your name on the middle circle. And then there's 4 circles around it. And essentially write an important aspect of your identity. An identifier, a descriptor, an adjective that you feel is important in defining who you are. Right? So it's similar to an introduction. But if you all will do that, don't worry about 1, 2, and 3 just yet. Just handle, instead of writing into these circles first. what I'm gonna have y'all do is pair up, and I'm gonna pair you up in a moment. You're gonna look at these 3 questions. So in a moment, I'll ask you all to share a time when you were especially proud to identify yourself with one. So you just need to choose one of the descriptors. And I'll basically have one person talk, I'll say switch, and you'll just kind of share, your thoughts on number 1. One of these descriptors, a time when you felt especially proud, a story or a time where it felt especially painful to be identified with one of the identifiers or descriptors. And then we're not going to do with number 3 right now. So what I want to do is have, these are going to be the pairs. So pay attention to where, and then y'all have to do some moving around because that's how I work this out. So we're going to have Nori and Jacob. Nori, raise your hand. Jacob, raise your hand. Bill and Amanda. Robert and Carlos. Samantha and Ariane. Brittany and Cynthia. Maria and Lambert. Amy. Yeah. Your first name is Maria Amalia? Yeah. It's okay. Okay. And then Bertha and Ashley. Isabella and Chichi. Did I miss anybody? Okay. So if y'all will assemble yourselves in pairs. Don't start talking yet, because I'm going to tell you go. It'll be a lot of time, then I'll say switch. Introduce yourselves if you don't know each other yet. Y'all can spread out. Y'all can just yeah, anywhere.
Hey, Bill, did that go oh, you want to sit here, actually? Oh, the camera's
Okay, so really quickly, well, I'm gonna say start. Listen up. I need you all to determine who's gonna start first. All right? Determine who's gonna start first. I'm gonna say go. I'm gonna give you all about a minute and a half or so to share your thoughts just on number 1. So all you're doing is a time where you were especially proud to be identified as one of those descriptors that you chose. Right? I'll say switch. The other person will answer also number 1. I'll say stop. We'll take a deep breath. We'll shake it off, and then we'll go to number 2 question.
Do you first want us to tell them our 4 words first, our 4 concepts, or go straight to number 1?
We'll go straight into number 1. Because actually afterwards, we're going to have somebody else share what's around you. So, okay. All right. Everyone knows who's starting? Begin.
Okay,
it was a friend of mine who actually exited the door. And there was a woman, Mrs. Martinez, who was like exiting. It was like we were fighting over. Oh, yeah, this is Martinez. High school teacher. So like, we're all exiting. We're fighting over who's going to hold the door. And then I was like, no, I don't over it. And no, I was and she was like, oh, look at you.
Did everyone get to at least get most of the story out?
Yeah.
Okay, good. We're gonna go to number 2. This one obviously is a little different. It's gonna ask you to look at one of those identifiers and try to think of a time where you did not feel very proud. Especially painful. I'm gonna modify that a little bit because it depends on what you put in terms of your identifiers, okay? So if it was a rough moment, a tough time, especially painful, it's a little heavy. So if there's a time where you felt confused, where you felt unsupported, where it did feel painful to be identified with one of those descriptors, I want you to think about that, and we're gonna have the same person begin first. I'll give you a little bit more time in case I'm stalling so you can think. So you all can find something, but that's what we'll do. They have the same person start first, about a minute and a half or so, and then we'll switch. Cool? Cool. Okay, so first person, you may begin. Okay, let's come back to let's come back to
Yeah, because it's.
first of all, thank you all for participating. This was doable for everybody?
Yes.
Okay, good. What I'd like to do now is, sort of in the large group, have a few of you sort of reintroduce yourself using these 4 identifiers or descriptors, and then either choosing number 1 or number 2 that you want to share. Either a time where you felt especially proud or a time where sort of the opposite was happening. So we'll take a few volunteers. And not okay, we'll come to you.
Okay, so I'm Ashley, everyone. Hi again.
Hi, Ashley.
Hi, yes.
Oh, no.
So I'm going to share my number 1 story. So a time when you're especially proud to identify yourself. So one of my identifiers was compassionate. And I've been a volunteer at the local hospital, St. Williamson, since it opened 5.5 years ago. And one of the experiences I had there really emphasized how compassionate I am, which was we had this little boy named Brian come in. He was 8 years old. His mom was there in the hospital and was in the ICU she was there for about 6 months total. And so I took it upon myself for my job to be, as I was there 4 hours Monday through Saturday, to spend time with him and distract him the entire time. So hanging out with him, like he gave me a tour of the hospital. He was like, I had gone everywhere and and so I think that was one of the moments that really showed my compassionate side by taking the time and hanging out with him. And I did that for about 2.5 months. So yeah, that's the little story.
Very nice. Thank you for sharing.
Again, I'm Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
And one of my goals was honesty. So I'll just share like number 2, share story. It wasn't really painful, but I take it as sometimes people don't know how to receive me because I'm a really honest person and I can be very blunt. And so sometimes I might come off as if I'm being, like I know everything or that I don't have a compassion for everybody's feelings or whatever. But sometimes it's more frustrating than painful because we always are surrounded with people who always like, oh yeah, I want you to be honest. And when you're honest, you're like, oh, you hurt my feelings. So I think that's just like, that's a really big thing. It's people want honesty, but to a certain point. And so that's something that I struggle with my family because I'm the outsider of my family because I'm the only one that really speaks the truth and just speaks my mind with everybody, and everybody else is like around the bush. So I'm like the black sheep of my family because I don't hold my tongue for nobody.
Thank you. Okay.
One thing that's really painful, I mean, I say that is really painful because it still is. Well, I guess painful is a bit of a strong word, but is the fact that I'm so disciplined, and sometimes people don't really understand that. Like, I know that I can be really inflexible sometimes, but like I try to kind of be accommodating to like other people's needs as well. But there's also good points in being disciplined and having the need to finish things on time or having the need to finish things by a certain amount of time. And sometimes it can be really frustrating, I guess, when family they don't understand when you don't want to do something on a particular day because you have something else planned out. And like my family teased me about it, but I mean it's all in good fun. But I know that at times there's some truth to it, and sometimes it's kind of, I guess, it's frustrating that they don't understand. Even when you're trying to change, and they don't
people of African descent, I don't mean continents of Africa. When you look at things like Trayvon Martin incident, gentlemen get it off. When you study things like mass incarceration, when you study Planned Parenthood, when you study these things and have an understanding that this society wants to keep you as a permanent underclass, it can be painful. But at the same time, it's not the type of pain that I don't want to do this. It's the type of pain that motivates, makes it want to make a difference and do something better for ourselves.
Was everyone able to answer number 2? Okay, so looking at number 1 and number 2, looking at your 4 identifiers, I now want everybody, and this is really just going to be for yourself, but try to now look at that last sentence saying that I am a or am, but I am not a, and it's kind of a follow-up to number 3. So if that helps to read that, but a way in which you, how many of you remember session 2 we did the social identity wheel, the personal identity wheel. The social identity wheel was more difficult. It's asking you to really dig into areas of identity, right? Whether it's race, class, level of education, etc. This is similar, right? And so asking you to, I identify as this, I do not identify as this. And what's interesting is it could be in the same sort of umbrella of identity, kind of going into sort of how you were saying, I can look at it as a painful thing, but it motivates me. So that's really a good segue in what I'd like for y'all to do. So just take a moment to fill that in. I'll see if anyone wants to share what they've written, and then we're going to go to the next activity. And as you all can guess from last time, there's a plan. We're starting to weave some things in, so that's why we're starting with this. Yes?
I'm just wondering, does it have to be from the circle?
No, this is open now. So now this is just, it's after the conversation, it's after hearing from different people. You know, I might say I am compassionate, but I'm not a pushover. Does that make sense?
Oh,
So,
okay.
I mean, just whatever comes to mind in terms of how you want to identify, what you want to connect with, and what you're saying, okay, this is not who I am.
Okay.
Right. Write it down, those are free ones.
Write it down, I want to hear it. I was thinking that too. The line, of course, you get started.
Everyone got something still working?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to get 3 or 4 responses before we close this activity. Who would like, anyone would like to share? Okay, Amanda, and I'll come back.
I just want to say this kind of reminds me of our diversity symposium that we did.
Oh, yeah.
It was because I am this, doesn't mean I am.
Oh, okay.
So, again, I
martyr, but I'm not a quitter.
I'm a lesbian, but I'm not a tomboy.
I'm intelligent, but I'm not arrogant. I'm caring, but I'm not
We're gonna end it right there.
I know.
That's the blue are you talking?
One more time for everyone.
I am not, I am caring, but I'm not a psychologist.
How many of you identify with that? Now, let's segue. So, you all had your retreat. I said that you had a fantastic time, can say, and you all did True Colors.
Yeah.
Okay, so y'all are still, you remember it, you're familiar, so I can.
Yeah.
All right. So, how many oranges do we have?
I mean, I was tied with orange and blue.
Pick.
Okay, I said blue.
Put your hand up for orange. You can put your hand up for blue too. It's okay. All right. So, okay, we got 2 oranges. How many greens do we have? If it was a top 2, that's fine. Okay. How many golds?
Very few.
I've picked you out the lineup already, based upon what you said. And then how many blues? Oh my goodness. So here's the deal. When you look at student support services, when you look at student leadership, you look at people that get involved on their campuses, blue is going to be overwhelming a lot of times. I think all the colors have validity. Did you all talk a little bit about how they are able to or supposed to or should or could work together? When you did True
Not
Colors?
as much how they work together, but about the
Okay.
characteristics of each one.
Okay. Now, how many of you were able to, that were at session 2, were able to connect our fruits?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So some of those things that we talked about, did I give you a handout? It sort of talked a little bit about sort of how they could work together. Were you about to say something?
Oh, no, the time ran out.
Oh, I see. Okay. So hopefully we'll be able to kind of, I may use True Colors language as we go forward. Okay. How many of you have that handout? Are you able to pick out who's what? Apple, gold. Strawberry is orange. Peach is blue. And pear is green. Okay. Just a 4. Yeah. Okay, good. So this handout, there's a reason, right? Similar to the social identity bill, we're often not able to have this kind of conversation, right? We're not able to pick identifiers and talk about something that we're proud about, and most often we're really not able to talk about a time that was especially challenging or difficult or painful in conversation. The important thing for you all is that when your new students get there, a lot of them are carrying something like this with them when they walk into the room, right? So how available we are, how open we are, how patient we are, how understanding we are is going to be really, really important. Because you have tasks, and you have to get through an agenda, and you have to kind of get folks acclimated, usher them here, get them the information they need, but a lot of them might really be walking in with some of this stuff on their surface, right? And so when you walk in and you're at community college and you're feeling really apprehensive about it because you were supposed to go to a 4-year institution, right? When you walk in and you're the first in your family to go to any sort of college, when you walk in and you feel like you've got the weight of your entire family on you to be successful, when you walk in and you don't see as many people that look like you as you want to, when you have an identity that's not visible, that you feel like you're not going to be able to connect with people. These are the things that new students walk in with on their sleeves, in addition to how do I get advised, what classes am I going to take, where do I buy my books, is financial aid going to come in, all of these things, right, our new students are dealing with. And how it manifests itself is, hey, can we get some volunteers to share? And crickets, and no one wants to speak up. Or you have the person that they're always raising their hand because they figure if I can stay busy and I keep my mind off of all this stuff that I'm worried about, right? So it's important that we remember that as we go into how we're going to help welcome them to all of your respective campuses. Okay, cool. All right, let's move. Okay, how many of you remember this from session 2? Dialogue versus debate. I should have brought this the last time, but I have the full handout. So I'm going to give that to you all now. And as it goes around, I want y'all to take a look at it. Yeah, just stay where you are. You don't have to, unless you want to, then you're like, hey. Yeah, stay where you are unless you're like, no, I want my original seat back. And you walk up and say, Larry, get up, it's my seat. Yeah, that's fine. What I want you all to do is to look at, so obviously they're going to match each other across the way. So for example, if I look at, I'm going to go down to 5. Debate causes critique of the other position. Dialogue causes introspection of one's own position. So what I want you all to do is to, in sort of going across in this dialogue versus debate, I want you to choose 2 that really sort of resonate with you. When I say resonate, it could be something that you feel very comfortable about, something that you struggle with, but I want you to choose 2 and sort of circle across, highlight whatever you want to do, check mark, and then we're gonna do something with that in just a moment. So just kind of read through all of these and pick 2 that really resonate or connect with